Beautiful night as we open the 4th of July weekend at Coors Field. And all those folks will eventually get inside. Crowd in excess of 49,000 tonight for fireworks. And hopefully the Rockies provide some fireworks with the bats as they open up this three-game set with the Kansas City Royals. And good evening, everybody. Along with George Frazier, I'm Drew Goodman. Well, the first half of the baseball season is over. I know figuratively it starts after the All-Star break, but literally the second half begins today with a matchup with the Royals, a team, George, I know it's odd to say, probably a little better than their record.
Absolutely, they're better than their record. They were 22-22 just a while back, and all of a sudden they started to struggle, particularly against the National League, where they've gone 4-11. You see the record, 22-22. Then since then, 11-26. A bunch of young kids, the youngest roster in baseball, second to the Pittsburgh Pirates. So it's a very young team that's having a learning curve at the major league level, yet hitting .263, and they're relying on a lot of young arms to carry them through this season, and that's not going to be an easy one.
They have young arms. We'll see one today in Danny Duffy. They have a lot of young hitters that can do some damage. They also, George, like to do this. They like to run a lot.
Well, you better get prepared for that. They're going to hit and run. They're going to steal some bases. They got 4 guys in the lineup with double-digit steals, and you don't see that often out of a young team.
No, it's always good to see American League clubs you haven't seen in a while. The Rockies have had success against the Royals over the years. They look to continue it tonight, and we will continue to get you prepared for first pitch when we return to Coors Field on a gorgeous July evening.
Colorado Rockies. Mark Ellis making his debut as a Colorado Rocky. The Rockies got him from the Oakland A's, where he spent his entire 10-year Major League Baseball career. We talked to him earlier today about making the move from Oakland to Denver.
You don't get traded for 10 years. You don't really expect to get traded. but I kind of anticipated it a little bit. And yesterday was a tough day. It was sad. Saying goodbye to you spend all that time with people. It's tough. But so I wanted to get here as soon as possible and start this new chapter or whatever. And I was excited when I found out it was Colorado. If I had to leave Oakland, this is one of the spots, if not the spot that I wanted to go.
I'm joined now by Jeff Houston, a guy who spent his entire career in the infield. And Huey, Mark Ellis, it's never been a question in terms of his glove. Very defensive infielder, very good guy with the glove. However, it's the .217 batting average that some people are questioning. He's hoping that a change of scenery here with the Rockies can change that.
Well, let's hope so. I mean, that's why the Rockies went out and got this guy for not only his defense, to add a little offense to the second base position, but also a little toughness. This kid is a tough guy. He's been a survivor his whole career, and it's tough playing in Oakland. I've played there as a visiting player. You don't get the fans. You don't get the energy that you get here at Coors Field. And you're coming to a team that is expected to win. Oakland has not been expected to win. That should fuel him a little bit to get that average. Plus, he had lost his position to Weeks, so who knows how that all affected him as far as his mental state offensively. I look for a rebound from him, though.
His first year in Oakland, they won 102 games. His second year, 103 games. They haven't had much winning ever since then. He's happy to be with a club that's absolutely a contender. We'll see what he can do in a Colorado Rockies uniform. And coming up after the break, we are set for baseball between the Kansas City Royals and the Colorado Rockies. Stay with us.
Save you 15% or more on car insurance by the Ford Edge. Class-defining style, revolutionary technology. Ford Edge, drive one. By Quest. Quest is becoming CenturyLink. Your link begins here. Find out more at CenturyLink.com/link. By Jack in the Box. Jack's really big chicken sandwich combo is back for only $3.99 at participating restaurants. And by Southwest Airlines. New Rapid Rewards, unlimited reward seats, and no blackout dates. Boy, is there a prettier picture in the high country here in the summer? Juan Nicasio. Looking at, he looks, you know what, George? He looked like an NFL linebacker kind of jogging out to the mound. He's a big
ready
guy.
to go. He wants to right the ship a little bit after that Yankee game the other day.
Now, Chris Getz, who can fly, will lead things off for the Kansas City Royals. Let's take a look at the Southwest lineup for Ned Yost. He'll have Melky Cabrera, the former Yankee, who's having a solid season. He'll be in the 2-hole in center field. Then Eric Hosmer, who's one of their real prized young players, former #1 pick. Alex Gordon has finally flourished. We'll talk a lot about him tonight. Veteran Jeff Francoeur will bat 5th. Mike Moustakas, another good-looking young player. The veteran backup Matt Trainer. Alcides Escobar, who can really pick it, will bat 8th. And then a young left-hander, 22-year-old Danny Duffy, will be on the hill.
Well, Nicasio has pitched well at home, 2-0 with a 3.00 earned run average. The opposition near 290. The one thing that jumps out, he doesn't walk many, just 26 strikeouts, but he has given up 6 home runs in 33 2/3. It'll be important to keep the ball in the yard against this young Royals team.
Well, in his last outing, George, he threw 84 pitches, 72 were heaters.
Can't throw that many. I mean, that's the thing, is gaining confidence more and more in that slider and changeup in situations. Now I can see where he felt that way simply because he had a no-hitter through 4. He had dominated their lineup. Then all of a sudden, that second time through, they started to get some looks. A base hit, a home run by Swisher.
Well, that pitch misses inside, 1-1. 83 degrees our game time temperature. And Juan Nicasio to Chris Getz, and a nice play by Nicasio fielding his position. 1 out as we take a look at the Rockies defensively. Spilborghs is in left field. Cargo's in center. Seth Smith's in right field. Wigginton, Tulowitzki left side. And welcome Mark Ellis to the Colorado Rockies after a number of fine seasons in Oakland. The 34-year-old will play next to Todd Helton with Chris Iannetta doing the catching. He's a product of the University of Florida. He overlapped there with David Eckstein. Played second and short at Florida. And you know, he fits right into this part of the country as you look at Melky Cabrera, because Mark is from South Dakota. And there's a whole bunch of Rockies fans up there in the Dakotas. Fouled off by Cabrera, 1-1.
Cabrera having a nice year, 10 stolen bases. He's been caught twice, hit 277, 43 RBIs.
And he's 5th in the American League, George, with 94 hits. Adrian Gonzalez leading the way. There's an off-speed pitch for a strike. A
good
changeup.
Yeah, at 84 miles an hour, about 10 miles an hour off of what his fastball has shown early.
Two balls, 2 strikes on Cabrera. Mark Ellis' first chance. Let's check in with Alana Rizzo.
Well, guys, Root Sports wants to be connected with the fans, as we've talked about all season long. So I asked some fans on the Facebook and Twitter pages to give me some questions that you and George and Huey can answer. I'll be doing that throughout today's game, so I hope you guys have done your research, because we have some tough questions that our fans want to know the answers to. We'll do about 5 or 6 questions today, so get ready, guys.
Well, you didn't give us, you have to give us the questions, then we can research.
No, the whole point is that you have to be on your game. These guys don't get to practice, really. You got to be on your game as well. I promise you, though, you're going to know the answers.
Yeah, all right, thanks, Alana. That pitch is out of the strike zone, 1-1. Another changeup. This is Eric Hosmer. Good-looking first baseman. The Royals, obviously, because of a number of poor seasons, Jeff Houston, they have stockpiled a lot of not just #1s, but I mean top 3, 4, 5 picks in the draft.
Well, that's good and bad. Bad because you've been bad for so long, but also good that you've got 7 guys on this roster now from 2003 through 2009 #1 picks that are playing are on their roster. So it's good for the Royals as they're developing, but they still haven't had a winning season in a number of years.
They're hoping this young group of kids can end up being what George Brett and that group of kids did in the 80s.
Couple of comebackers and a weak ground ball to second. Very nice start for Juan Nicasio. .349, 4 home runs, also added 9 doubles, and he's got the average of .289 as we begin July. Southwest lineup for Jim Tracy. Mark Ellis, he's a new Rocky, and he's been inserted right into that 2 spot. Todd Helton, Troy Tulowitzki, Ty Wigginton, 3-4-5. Then Smith, Spielborg, Zionetta, and Nicasio against a hard-throwing 22-year-old by the name of Danny Duffy. And this is just his 9th big league start, George. He'll run that fastball up 96, 97.
He can, pitches comfortably at 93. Walks have been a problem for him. Leadoff men in an inning have been a problem for him. They've hit a combined this year over 500 for him. You'll see the numbers over and all. 1 and 2 making his 9th start to opposition near 300. Left-handers have scuffled. 231 with just 1 home run. Right-handers 322 with 6 home runs.
Fargo fouls off that heater. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Let's take a look at the Royals defensively. Their outfield's been very good throwing out guys trying to stretch an extra base. 31 outfield assists for Gordon, the converted third baseman, Cabrera, and Frank Core. Moustakas, Escobar was terrific. Getz and Hosmer in the infield. This is sliced to left, and it will drop foul.
Much better road success for Duffy. 1-0, 386 versus 0-2, 540 in Kansas City. Northwest Arkansas is their Double-A team, and every year for the past 3 years this young contingency of players had played there, and they had won the Texas League title. Now this year they came back with more young arms, and we're in a race for the battle right to the very end with Arkansas, the Angels affiliate.
There's 96, and it misses 2-2. His last start against the Cubs may have been his best of his young career. He did give up 9 hits, but just 2 runs in a career best 7 innings of play.
Now, pitch count was the key. 91 pitches thrown over those 7 innings. And the reason I bring that up is a comparison of what he did against the Cardinals. He set a career high strikeout total with 9, but in 3 2/3 innings, he threw 90 pitches.
The thing about that, though, Frage, he got 11 outs, and 9 were by punch out.
Yeah, but still, you're in the dugout as a starting pitcher before the 4th inning's over. It's not a good thing.
Here's the 3-2, and that's fouled off.
It's going to be interesting, guys, to see how his breaking pitch, his curveball, reacts here.
Well, I think the one thing that will help him, Jeff, is Bob McClure, their pitching coach, worked in the Rockies system as a AAA pitching coach in Colorado Springs. He understands the mechanics of throwing the breaking ball at altitude as good as anybody in the game. There's Bobby. He had one of the best moves. Was he still playing with you?
Yeah, I played with him in Montreal.
He had one of the best.
Unbelievable.
Bring him in out of the bullpen. Now, don't throw a pitch. Do not throw a pitch, whatever you do, to home plate, to pick the guy off, will you? And sure, he could pick you off in a heartbeat.
A leadoff walk for Carlos Gonzalez, and here comes Mark Ellis making his Colorado Rockies debut. This is one of the long-standing Oakland A's, and a lot of touchdowns. I mean, he remembers the 100-win A's seasons. He is a tough-minded guy. I had a scout come up to me, George and Jeff, unsolicited in the lunchroom a little while ago, and he said, this was a good move by the Rockies. They're going to love Mark Ellis. He's a winner. He's a tough-minded guy. He does all the little things.
Well, that's what you're looking for out of a veteran if you're going to pick somebody up in the middle of the year. Second base had been a problem for the Rockies. No consistency there. So, and I think it's a smart move that Chris Nelson was back to where he could play every single day in case of an injury here. And also the fact that Eric Young Jr. has got to go down and identify a position for him to have success with.
A little bit more about Mark Ellis. Again, a native of South Dakota. He was a 4-year player at the University of Florida, so he was a senior sign. 9th round pick by, ironically, the Royals. And then he was traded to Oakland. It was a big deal because he went with Johnny Damon to Oakland. Here's the 1-1. And this ball in the hole, a base hit. Welcome to the Rockies, Mark Ellis. First and second, nobody out. That's a good start, Huey.
Well, it takes a little bit of the pressure off because you get traded to a new ball club. You want to impress right away. And he goes out and does that with the base hit. Gets out in front a little bit, but notice where the hands are. Keeps him back. The follow through nice and long. But that front stiff leg is kept in position to allow him to keep his head in a position to get this base hit. But you want to impress, and so he goes out and does it. Very first play or first at bat. Welcome to the Rockies.
And now Helton with 2 on. Tonight, game number 2001. And Todd with a big swing. He fouls it off of Matt Trainer straight back.
Matt Trainer caught Duffy's game in Chicago where he gave up 2 runs, so they want the veteran back in again, facing a National League team which Trainer had played for so many years for Florida Marlins.
You know who else was in that 3-team trade that sent Mark Ellis to Oakland? It was also Tampa was involved. There were some big names. Ben Grieve was involved. A.J. Hinch was involved.
2 number 1 picks.
1-1 on Help. Slow breaking ball. That was a good one.
A.J. Hinch never panned out as a big league catcher. Ben Grieve had 2 or 3 good years, and then it was over. Here's the curveball again. Now he leaves the finger off, that index finger, to get more pressure with his middle finger to create spin.
Tulowitzki on deck.
You're also fighting some shadows now. Todd Helton is, with the sun being out. Pitchers in the sunlight, and home plate is completely shadows.
Down low on Todd. Well, the Rockies made some roster moves today. They had to, obviously, with Mark Ellis coming to Colorado. Chris Nelson, George talked about that. He's going to play every day at second base down in Colorado Springs for Stu Cole. Eric Young will play the outfield in Colorado Springs. And also recalled today, because the bullpen was overused in that White Sox series, is Edgmer Escalona.
Escalona, a big power arm on the 40-man roster with the Rockies, so it's easy to get him here and allow him maybe to become a part of this game tonight if you need the innings.
And the Rockies also announced that Jhoulys Chacin will be pushed back from tomorrow to Tuesday. He had a little bit of tightness in his forearm after his last start. And so Greg Reynolds will make that start tomorrow. Swung on and missed, and Helton is gone. That's the first out of the inning. And of course there'll be another move tomorrow because Greg Reynolds is not yet on the 25-man roster. He is at the ballpark.
And you don't announce that move obviously till after the game for a lot of obvious reasons. One is you don't know who it is. You may, but you don't want to announce it today because you may need that person during the game. An injury during the game can change what happens. There's a lot of things in the mix of that before you announce those moves or make those moves.
Outside on Troy. He had a great at bat in that first inning yesterday, Jeff. On the 12th pitch, as you look at a Colorado Lottery replay. On the 12th pitch from Jake Peavy, got one he could handle, and he drove it out of the ballpark, dead center field. Rockies got off to a 3-0 lead, which obviously made the final outcome that much more difficult to take. 1 ball, 1 strike. Now through July 31st, you can replay every non-winning scratch ticket in a second chance drawing at ColoradoLottery.com. Huey, that worked well here.
Well, it would. Another 3-run shot, certainly. But yesterday, he was fouling off pitches everywhere. You fouled them off back. If it was away, he took it to right field. They threw him a couple change-ups. He hooked him to left field until Peavy finally missed his location, and he took him out.
Early in the game yesterday, Peavy didn't have his slider, and I think that's why he stayed on top and continued to throw all fastballs. He was just trying to locate to the outer half, made the mistake, and as good hitters will do, they'll make you pay for it.
Tulowitzki's walked twice in each of the last 3 games. That's the first time in his career that's happened. Here's a 2-1. And a slow hit ball to the left side. They'll get one. And that's it. First and third.
Ellis went in hard at second base.
Again, Huey, you know his reputation. This is a hard-nosed player, and he does everything the right way.
Coming in with his spikes late, which I like. A late slide. I don't think it's effective to slide well out in front of the bag as it is to slide late and create more havoc.
You know, that gives an opportunity to tie Wigginton with 2 outs. Snaps off a breaking ball, and it's 0-1 on Wigginton. And this ball high in the air down the right field line. Long run for Frank Coor, and it's a foul ball.
By about 1.5 feet. Wigginton's known as a pull hitter. So you're shading into the left center field gap as an outfielder. And then he just crisscrosses you and goes out to right field on a fastball away.
Now the Royals had yesterday off. They were in Denver from Wednesday night on. They had a tough time with the San Diego Padres most recently. They were swept at Petco, but they've had a tough time with the National League period. 4-11, though their team ERA has been good. This ball line to right's got to get down, and it will. Ty Wigginton coming through. Here's the throw by Frank Coor, and Wigginton's going to move up. Good base running by Tulowitzki. Once he saw the bobble by Frank Coor and right, he took off, and then the throw was too high for the relay man. And the Rockies have 2 in scoring position now for Seth Smith.
Aggressive base running typically will pay huge dividends in an inning if you take advantage of it. Here it is, jammed him. It's kind of a soft liner out into the outfield of Frank Coor. He's going to be charged with an error when he bobbled the baseball, because that allowed everybody to advance.
Huey, I can't tell you how big that is, because the Rockies have had so many times this year where they set the table and then fail to push runs across. Big 2-out hit by Wigginton.
You know, Seth did it the other, Ty did it the other day in the game against the White Sox. Bases loaded, lined out to center field. I mean, just the little ones where you're always thinking, okay, 1 more run or maybe 2 runs to add on. Those are the type of hits that, for the most part, have been eluding the Rockies.
Smith, right guy at the plate, 5th in the National League, 382 with runners in scoring position. Joey Votto leads it at 431.
And the other thing, too, for when you're playing a team like the Kansas City Royals, you're just coming off being swept, as you mentioned, Drew. To get an early lead against a young ball club is so important, especially when they're on the road.
Here's the 0-2, and swung on and missed. So Smith fanned by Duffy. The Rockies leave 2 on, but Wigginton's hit drives in the first run of the ball game.
1-0 lead over the Royals as we head to the top of the second inning. It is time for our first question, and this comes from George Nagata of Chicago, Illinois. Huey, this is for you. He wants to know how a new second baseman mid-season could affect Troy Tulowitzki, really the defense in general. How does he work into the mix of the defense when he's brand new?
Well, first of all, they'll have the communication before they go out on the field, but I watched them today during batting practice. They spend about 10 or 15 minutes going over double plays. Where do you like the ball? Do you like it more as a second baseman, more on your right side or your left side? Where do you like it? Troy would do the same thing with Mark, saying, I would prefer the ball to my glove side. It helps with the transfer a little bit more. So a lot of communication even before they take the field. But then once you do at the major league level, you should have that small window where you're able to throw the ball anyway, and both of these guys will have it.
Well, that's veteran guys, too. I mean, you know, it's not like you're bringing up some young kid, Jeff. It's a guy that's, with Ellis, it's a veteran guy.
Right.
And he's won and been on winners, and he understands the game.
Here's the 2-0 to Alex Gordon, and he lines it to center field. Cargo's going to have to field it on a hop, and Gordon takes a wide turn and he'll head back. You know, Alex Gordon has turned around his career this year. He's been up and down the last few years, but he's having a terrific season here in 2011. Let's take a look at Ned Yost's staff. John Gibbons is the bench coach. Bobby McClure we talked about. Rockies ties, obviously. Former third baseman Kevin Seitzer is the hitting coach. Big swing and a miss from Jeff Francoeur.
Francoeur's having a big year. 11 home runs, 47 RBIs on this ball club.
How much weight has he lost?
He's lost a ton. We were talking about that earlier. He played last year at 242, and he's down 15 to 20 pounds. I mean, this is a big guy, Francoeur. He's 6'4", and talked about it before, from Parkview High School in the Atlanta area. Was one of the top football players on the East Coast coming out. He's going to go to Clemson and play football. #1 pick of the Atlanta Braves. Here's the 1-1 coming up to Francoeur.
And all those headlines after success, first couple of years in Atlanta, playing in front of friends and family, that can be difficult, and obviously didn't live up to the hype.
He did a nice job, fellas, after the trade last year, George, to Texas.
Did a really nice job for him.
Traded by the Mets. It was after the waiver wire trade deadline. It was an August trade. Francoeur does have 3 home runs in interleague play, 2 in the last 6 ball games. And for a big guy, he runs pretty well.
You have to keep an eye on all these Royal players. They've stolen 81 bases as a club and have only been thrown out 25 times.
And Ned Yost started this in spring training. And one of the guys that's had a huge impact is Doug Sisson. There's 1 and there's 2. Well, it looked like they had their act together on that one, didn't they, Huey?
It was nice. Ball was hit hard. Easy feed for Troy once he catches his baseball. Just flip it up to the second baseman. There's not much thought process here involved. A little 2-hopper right over the bag. And you know you have plenty of time. Once it's hit that hard, Mark Ellis, easy turn at second base. These are the best kind to get right out of the gate, Drew.
Well, he's got everything going, huh? He's got his hit out of it. He got a base hit.
It turned to double play.
Turned double play. It's all easy from here on.
But, you know, we're laughing about it, Jeff, as this 0-1 to Moustakas misses. We're laughing about it, but, you know, you moved around to several teams in your 10-year big league career, and it does allow you to sigh a little bit, doesn't it? Give you a catch your breath, right?
Yeah, because you were just traded yesterday, so you have to pack all your bags, and you're on a flight, and you get here, you don't know where you're going, all those other things. But you come out, and in the first 2 innings, you've got a double play out of the way, and you got a base hit. You can breathe a little bit easier. You're like, whew, okay, I can relax now. I'm playing ball.
All right, I didn't boot the first one.
Right.
I didn't punch out in the first AB.
Well, you think about it too. He's playing in front of a crowd again. You talk about rejuvenating your career and your enthusiasm for the game when you walk into a stadium and there's 40,000 people sitting there, and soon to be 49 as it fills up for fireworks, compared to 10 or 12 when you're sitting in Oakland. Jeff mentioned that, and then on a team that, you know, is really right now not destined to win any games. They started out very well, but have struggled since.
I just wonder who he got the cleats from, because Oakland wears white cleats.
Oh, you know how that works.
Yep.
They were FedExed in here today. Those are brand spanking new.
Keith Schultz was on it. 3-2 count on Moustakas, and that pitch misses badly. Went changeup. 3-2. Respect for Moustakas' power, so he'll go to first.
Trying to force him into throwing a changeup to a young power hitter, but this young power hitter only has one home run right now. Overthrew it into the dirt with 2 outs and put a runner on.
And the veteran catcher Matt Trainer at the plate. Here comes Chris Iannetta. Well, the Royals have struggled for a while. They had 95 losses last year. They've had 93 or more losses 6 of the last 7 years. Ed Yost trying to change that culture around. They got a beautiful ballpark. Rockies were there recently. Been there a couple times actually in the last few years. Here's the 1-0. 2-0. Who wants tacos, fans? Remember, if the Rockies score 7 or more during this ball game or any other, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day between 4 and 6 and get your Rockies taco special from our friends at Taco Bell. Oh, view from the rock pile. On the ground, slowly hit to short.
What a play.
Yeah, nice play by Ellis.
He barehanded that.
Yeah, that was a low throw. Rockies get the force at second. We'll go to the bottom of the second. The Rockies have the only run. And Ty Wigginton base hit in the first. Road ahead brought to you by E470, E470 and Express Toll, celebrating 20 years of excellence. These are the final 3 ball games of interleague play for the Rockies in 2011. They're 6-6 so far. Then it's off to Atlanta. 4 ball games there, 3 in Washington before the All-Star break. Spilborghs takes ball 1 against Danny Duffy. Hard throwing 22-year-old Duffy a third-round pick back in 2007. And this ball's well hit left center field. Extra bases for Spilly. One hop off the wall, and it'll be a leadoff double for number 19. Good swing there, Jeff.
Well, it was, and it was nice that he was able to get a hit off the left-hander. Going to line up tonight for Charlie Blackmon. Stayed centered through the middle part of the field. Down, pitch was down, and just drove it to the big part of the field.
Well, Chris Iannetta comes up. And this is where hitting in the 8th spot in the lineup in the National League, why it's not an easy place to hit, Jeff.
Well, you've got two things going on. Do you need to be patient? Do you need to be a little bit more aggressive with the runner out there? You're still trying to move him over to second base, or from second base to third, with the pitcher hitting behind you.
Iannetta's at 273 this year with runners in scoring position, a pretty good, respectable number.
Ground ball cut off by the third baseman Moustakas, and that didn't get the job accomplished for Chris. So that'll bring up Nicasio with Spilborg still at second. Nicasio's got a couple of hits.
The big ballpark at AT&T.
A couple of doubles, in fact. He doesn't know what a single is yet.
Double will work here.
Wouldn't turn it down, right? Melky Cabrera in center field. Shallow naturally. The entire outfield is for Kansas City. Shaded toward right center against the hard throwing Duffy. Good swing. Duffy's minor league numbers were very impressive. 27 and 14 with a 2.59 ERA, Frage.
I'm not sure you can get much better unless you're 41-0. Think about that, with the earned run average below 3 consistently. 27 wins. He doesn't have a big body of work at the minor league level before getting his opportunity here in the big leagues.
Windshield damage, call Safelite Auto Glass at 303-287-5000 or go to safelight.com.
Matter of fact, a year ago, Northwest Arkansas 5-2, 295 earned run average, 39 innings. It's the highest level he'd pitched at prior to coming to the big leagues and being in Omaha at the start of the year.
Slow hook and the strikeout of Nicasio. That'll bring up Cargo with 2 outs, and Spilborg still stationed at second base. Well, Duffy last year, little elbow tenderness at the start of the year, and he took a 2-month sabbatical. He just walked away. Some of it was personal, and he showed back up in June, and he was ready to go again. Really picked up where he left off.
Third-round draft pick, and it gave him more than third-round money to come play the game. And so that, 2007, I got disenchanted with the game Drew's talking about. Disenchanted, went home. Not the first Royal to do that. Zach Greinke also took a sabbatical for a while.
Yeah, 1-0 on Cargo, hitting .455 with 2 outs and runners in scoring position. Those clutch situations, he's 4th in the National League. And he's doing a really good job, Jeff, of identifying pitches that look tantalizing, but they're actually out of the zone.
Yeah, but that's why his average is up to almost 290 now, 289, because he's recognizing pitches, much of what we saw Cargo do last year. And he's doing it again, both right-handed and lefties.
2-0 to work with, and he fouls it straight back.
But that's the type of swing you should have on a 2-0. He was trying to hit that ball into the seats. He got out in front of it a little bit, but he recognized what the pitch was and attacked it.
Tell you what, the splits have come up too. The numbers against righties outstanding, 313. But he was well below 200 left on left, and he's got the average up now to 243. 3 hits against lefty 2 days ago. That pitch misses, and it's 3-1.
Check out the power tickets. That's right. What happens? Well, $10 to $15 off a concession credit. That's what you get. It's available for the midfield box and the outfield club level.
Mark Ellis on deck. Spielborg's a leadoff double. And now Duffy taking his time, so Cargo will step out momentarily. 3-1. And it's chopped to second. So Duffy gives up that leadoff double to Spielborg's. Rockies couldn't cash it in. 1-0 through 2 innings of play.
Second question of the evening. This one comes from A.J. Enders of Meade, Colorado. And this is for both of you guys. George, you can answer first. But the question is, how difficult is it to go from the American League to the National League mid-season and still make strides as a player to make yourself better, but also help your team, George?
Well, it depends on where you're going, because if you go to a crummy team, it's never fun to go. I mean, you know, I was fortunate, though, because I was traded from the Indians over to the Cubs, and then I went from the Cubs to the Minnesota Twins. So both times it resulted very well, because I had the ability to get into the playoffs in '84 with the Cubs and then World Championship with the Minnesota Twins. It depends on, I think, whether it's a veteran team and how they accept you as a veteran player and where they are. And if it's that type of situation, it's great. But if you're a veteran guy going with a bunch of young kids that don't have a chance, you recognize you're towards the end, and it's you know, it's just going over to babysit some kids till they get some experience.
I find it hard to believe, George, that you were not crushed leaving Cleveland and they're 800 a night for 38,000 at Wrigley.
You know, when you're 29 games out of first place and then you're 8 games in first place, and it happens in a matter of 4 hours, it's a pretty good road trip when you're heading out of Oakland and you're leaving with Rick Sutcliffe and Ron Hasse and heading to the Chicago Cubs, who are in first place.
How about that heater to strike out Alcides Escobar at 96 with some cut on it? Well, Jeff, you answer that question.
It was great for me, because I was going from a point in Montreal where I was probably going to not make the team out of spring training, but they got traded over to the American League, the Texas Rangers, and I ended up being the opening day starter at shortstop. So, hey, I thought it was great, and Mark Ellis has got to be feeling that way now. He goes from, as George mentioned, a team that's drawn 10 to 12,000 to 40 to 45,000 a night. It's like you hit the lottery.
Well, and your team that you're coming to has a chance to win. The other team, Oakland, not a knock against Oakland, it's just a team that has suffered multiple injuries out of their rotation and bullpen.
2 balls and a strike on Duffy.
And quite honestly, with our bullpen the way it is with the Rockies locked up for multiple years, it would have been a difficult time for Bruce Billings to come and be a big part of this bullpen. So you gave him an opportunity to go to Oakland and get a chance to go to the big leagues. And I know Jim Tracy never liked giving up a big arm, but sometimes you have to if it's going to make you a better player and a better team.
Mark Ellis throws out Danny Duffy, 2 gone, and that'll bring up Chris Getz. Let's take a look at our Geico quote of the day. One of the all-time greats, George Brett. Hitting's a strange thing. You're so smart about hitting, and then you step into the batter's box and something happens to you. You get stupid. It's like everything goes out the window. You step into the batter's box. That pitch in there for a strike. And immediately you turn into a 3rd grader. Fortunately, pitchers are like 2nd graders. That sounds like George Brett, doesn't it? 1 ball and 1 strike.
Well, those first couple of years, he couldn't hit the ocean with a boat paddle, and then all of a sudden he turned it on, and obviously a Hall of Famer.
It was so much fun to watch.
Yeah, the pitchers had PhDs his first couple of years. Here's the 1-1, and it's a big chop fly. That low throw, Peck scoops it. What else is new? You know what? He did that his first 2,000 games also.
Yeah, now 2001, same result.
Todd makes the play. In there for a strike on Mark Ellis, leading off the 3rd inning. Todd Helton, Troy Tulowitzki to follow. Drew Goodman, George Frazier, Jeff Hewson, Alano Rizzo from a sold-out Coors Field. 2-strike count. This replay brought to you by the Colorado Lottery. First AB for Mark Ellis in the Rockies uniform. What'd he do? Well, after Gonzalez reached on a walk, he punched a single to left. And this is down the right field line and out of play. Reminder that through the 31st of July, you can replay every non-winning scratch ticket in a second chance drawing at ColoradoLottery.com. So they went away, and he hit it down the right field line, tried to bust him in. He got the barrel out and almost hit Jeff Francis.
That's Poodlehead. Take your hat off. I want to see your hair. I call him Poodlehead because it's all real curly and goes everywhere. He got it trimmed up before he came to town.
Give him another chance. Make a play, Jeff.
He's moving. I guarantee he's going to move.
Taking a heat-seeking missile. No, put the bat down.
Yeah, we've seen you with the bat. Good to see Jeff Francis. Here's the 0-2 again. And it's a hot pop-up shallow left field. Escobar going out. He's got it. Francis was scheduled to pitch on Sunday. They didn't want to send Danny Duffy back to the minor leagues. Ned Yost was saying before the ballgame, so that's why we've gone to a 6-man rotation. And so now another guy with Colorado ties, Luke Hochevar. He's from Fowler, Colorado. #1 pick in the entire draft out of the University of Tennessee. Hochevar will have a lot of family here on Sunday when he makes a start. A lot of Colorado ties, period.
Paulino. Felipe Paulino is with the ball
now
club.
Starter.
Yep, start of the year. He's there. Francis, Hochevar. So yeah, there's 3 of the guys there, all part of it. And again, you know, I see the point of going to a 6-man rotation for them with the DH and 3 extra guys, because it allows them. There's not much pinch hitting that goes on in the American League. So you're going to leave your guys in, will allows you to carry extra pitchers, and it's not as taxing on the young arms. I was just going to ask you that, George. Is it better for you're talking about a 22-year-old kid tonight, for instance? Hochevar's still young in the game. This ball served to center field. Helton's got a knock. Is it beneficial to have that extra day at this age? I think so. They throw 2 light bullpens in between. A lot of teams have gone to 6-man rotations in A ball and AA even. The Cardinals have done that the last couple of years to preserve arms and cut down. I mean, basically you're taking away 6 starts from the starting pitcher, who will make 30 during the course of the year in the minor league season. So it saves the arms and the pitch counts. And with that staff, with all due respect to it, it's not like you're going, okay, you're taking 4 starts away from Tim Lincecum. Right. Or Roy Halladay.
Or Zach Greinke, who was there last year.
Right. Good point, Huey.
But it's a team that is young. It's a team that started out very well, 22-22 on May 20th, but since it struggled to 11-26. So Ned Yost has to accept those growing pains as he continues to teach the game of baseball to these young kids. And Kansas City has the worst earned run average in their starters in the major leagues at 5.03. So naturally you're trying to protect what you have and go with it from there.
Yost, the former Milwaukee skipper, and he was tutored by Bobby Cox in Atlanta.
Every position that you could go as a coach, he did it. Bullpen, first, third, and bench coach for Bobby.
2-1 on Tulowitzki. Troy owns a couple of home runs against the Royals. Helton at first with 1 out. Saw Bruce Chen, one of the members of that rotation. He threw a good ball game Wednesday against the Padres. Unfortunately, their defense was a little shoddy that day. Had a 1-0 early lead. A pop-up in the infield wasn't caught, and that kind of opened up the floodgates. Padres won the baseball game 4-1. This ball crushed deep right center field, and bye-bye baseball. That was hammered. 2-run home run, Troy Tulowitzki. Second ball game in a row. You know how streaky he can be. Maybe he's entering one of those hot zones.
7th home run given up by Duffy to a right-hander. Ball away from him, velocities there. Tulowitzki supplied the bat power, and then you see this thing sailed into right center. And that's kind of a hot zone in this ballpark. But the way that ball was hit, I think the wind could have been blowing in and was still got out of here. It's a fastball up and away from him. Really stayed behind and through the baseball. Those crowds are, that crowd's happy out in left field. Fired up for a little fireworks, and fired up for the Rockies with a 3-0 lead.
Todd Wigginton with a 2-strike count at the plate. Tulowitzki A little fist bump there from Juan Nicasio. So that's Juan saying that's where I was going to hit it. You stole my thunder.
See, I've been in the dugout saying, you know what, it ain't over, boys. Keep tacking them on. Don't stop now.
Well, think the last game Nicasio started in New York. Rockies were up 3-0. The Yankees came back and tied that up just 3 hitters later in the 5th inning.
And yesterday, we all know the Rockies were up 3-0. Ty Wigginton has 7 interleague home runs, which is more than anybody else in the game this year. Mark Teixeira has hit 6. There's a host of players that have hit 5, including Paul Konerko, who just departed. Jose Batista, Evan Longoria, Danny Valencia, and also Brian McCann, who we'll see in a couple of days. That's the first time, by the way, that Troy's hit a home run in consecutive games since he hit 4 in a row at Citi Field, New York. That's a strike, and Wigginton's gone. 4th strikeout for Danny Duffy. Coming up in the 6th inning, Toyota Talk. We'll do it all season long. Text your comments during the game. See what you and fellow Rockies fans have on their minds. I got one for you. If you could play schedule maker for a day and you could select 3 American League teams to come in to Coors Field next year, who would they be? And I have a feeling a couple of them would be, but you know what, we may have some surprises on there. Here's Seth Smith. He struck out his first time. Takes low ball 1. So that's our Toyota Talk question of the night. This is the final interleague series of 2011. Who would you invite next year if you could do such a thing?
I'd like to see the Rangers.
Well, you know what? That'd be a nice selection. I mean, they have a fun ball club. Very talented club, obviously.
I wouldn't mind seeing Tampa.
I would. You know what, George? See, those are 2 great selections. I'd love to see.
I mean,
Tampa.
you know, the sexy choices are
Boston,
New York and Boston. I understand that, but I'd like to see Tampa. Very good team, very well managed by Joe Madden in Texas.
So maybe those 2, and we'll take one of the others, like the Yankees or Boston. We didn't play Boston this year, so maybe that'd be a good selection. Well, you guys sound off. We'll do it in the 6th inning. 2-run home run by Troy Tulowitzki, and the Rockies now have a 3-0 lead as we move to the 4th at Coors Field. Fireworks night.
Huey, we're going to go ahead and give this one of Los Animas, Colorado. He doesn't know much about Mark Ellis and wants to know if he's going to figure to be the Rockies' everyday second baseman, and also what that means for Jonathan Herrera, Chris Nelson, and Eric Young Jr. So you can kind of revisit the roster move and what those guys need to do down in AAA.
Well, we had already talked about it. Chris Nelson is going down to AAA to play every day. Eric Young Jr. is going to go play the outfield. So, yes, Mark Ellis is going to get the majority of the plays here now, or starts out at second base. Jonathan Herrera will mix in occasionally. But they got Mark Ellis to fill that void at second base and be the number 2-hole hitter in the lineup. And he's just locked in for a while. And Jim Tracy's going to just pencil.
Cabrera fouls this off. He's behind 0-2. Cabrera, the New York Yankee, also with the Atlanta Braves. He's played in the postseason 4 times. Through with the Yankees last year with Atlanta.
Another guy that looks like he's in better shape, Drew.
I would agree with you. I would agree with you. He's been around. He's been around for a while, and yet he's still just 26. Outside 2-2. His first full season in New York, he hit .280. 7 home runs. He drove in 50, stole 12 bases, backed it up the next year at .273 with 8 and 73 RBIs. A little comeback. That's the third of the ball game that Nicasio's handled.
He's getting himself in a good fielder's position to make those plays.
Effectively wild. We talked about it in the pregame show. 46 pitches, 25 strikes, 21 balls.
Hey, let me make an adjustment there. That's actually the 4th comebacker of the ball game of the 10 outs. Hosmer takes ball 1. Hosmer listed in a deep system as the #1 prospect going into the campaign. First round pick in 2008. What a jam shot that was. Wigginton at foul ground gloves it. That was a 95-mile-an-hour fastball, George, that had a little cut on it, and he's demonstrated that tonight.
Well, he's off centered a little bit, obviously, on the baseball, and being able to shoot this ball on the inner half and just jam up and tie up left-handed bats right now. And a fastball on that inner half, you start to make that commitment. Pitchers really like hitters that can't lay off, and then you make that little cutter get on the handles.
Alex Gordon, he singled his first time up. He has the only hit for the Royals. Alex Gordon was the consensus player of the year in college baseball last year at Nebraska in 2005. The next year, he was the consensus minor league player of the year in the game. But he came to the big leagues. In the first few years, he really struggled. This year, he's been doing very well. Not in that at bat. 3-0 Rockies. Rockies Weekly with Jim Tracy will show you what it takes to host a visiting Major League Baseball team by following around Coors Field visiting clubhouse manager Alan Bossert. That'll be fun. Take a look back at Todd Helton's 2000th game and much, much more. It's Rockies Weekly with Jim Tracy Sunday right after the ball game. Danny Duffy's first pitch to Ryan Spilborghs is wide of the strike zone. Spilborghs crushed a double to center field his first time up. Two and 0 on Spilly. This ball's well hit to center field. Going back is Cabrera, and he's going to make the catch on the edge of the track. Tell you what, off the bat, I thought that one had a chance to get on out of here. Spilborghs has a lot of power straight away. A long out. That'll bring up Chris Ionetta. It'll also take us to our AT&T trivia question. Mark Ellis has a career .990 fielding percentage, second highest among active second basemen. We want to know who has the highest. Ionetta pops this one up. This is playable in foul ground for Hosmer. 2 outs. Well, Jason Giambi and Mark Ellis played together in Oakland, and if you're going to go after a former teammate at Giambi's, you're going to be real interested in what that man thought of him. And of course, he got the highest grades possible from the Giambino. A pro's pro is Mark Ellis. Nicasio struck out his first time, and he takes a strike.
Dan's done a lot of deals lately with Oakland. Matt Holliday, of course, Clayton Mortensen, now Mark Ellis.
Trades today are really hard to do because you're not going to trade big leaguers for big leaguers. You've got to give up part of your farm system in order to benefit from now. And I think that's some of the most difficult things to do.
One and 2 on Nicasio. And a little tardy on that fastball. A 1-2-3 fourth inning for Danny Duffy. His first 1-2-3 inning of the ballgame. 3-0 Rockies.
Coors Field. The Rockies with a 3-0 lead as we head to the top of the 5th inning. And this question is from Tom in Superior, who wanted to ask George about the term punch out. He thought that it meant you got punched out when it was a called third strike and the umpire, the home plate umpire, actually punched out a batter. But he's heard it a couple of different times in different situations. George, can you clarify the term punch out?
No, I can't. Can you, please? I'm just kidding. I'm messing with you, Alana. Drew's being rude up here on camera. You're on camera, Drew. Don't do that.
Bad.
Security? You got security outside anywhere? Well, it did come from when an umpire sat there and, he'd punch you out and do all the different things. And then a lot of guys started using the terminology as a strikeout for punch out. I mean, he struck out 10, he punched out 9 or whatever you came up with. You just punched out guys. And in other words, all I ever said, they're making a left turn, heading to the dugout, and grabbing some pine.
I know your favorite one. Tom Hallion.
Tom Hallion, yeah.
He throws a Joe Frazier left hook.
You just hope it's not a left-hander up there when he throws it. He got a chance to get it. He's amazing.
Yeah, he gets
Doc,
all
security, please.
That. You got the reach on me. Jeff Francoeur with a 2-0 pitch, and a big swing and a miss for Francoeur, 2-1.
8 of 14 first pitch strikes for Nicasio, yet it's not that. It's about 60% strikes out of his pitch total.
Change up, that's a beauty.
It's his best one he's thrown tonight.
And Huey, I would venture to say with the pitch counts in the mid-50s, he only threw 12 off-speed pitches in the ball game in the Bronx in his last start. He's thrown at least that already in this game.
And that's a good thing, because the scouting report that the Kansas City Royals had received before this game is exactly what he threw in New York. So the hitters going over the report saying, okay, just sit on the fastball. But now you throw some breaking pitches in, it makes you think.
Well, not only that, Jeff, he also made a start on May 7th against Northwest and again on May 17th. And both of those starts, he went 14 innings, 4 runs. He struck out 16 batters. So their Double-A team and manager have also seen what he can do and throw it. If they say, hey, lay off the off-speed stuff, but if you can just show them you can throw it, you'll get Ned Yost's attention and Kevin Seitzer, their hitting coach, and all of a sudden that puts another thought in that hitter's mind.
Here's the 3-2, and he struck him out with 95-mile-an-hour gas. So Jeff Francoeur is the 3rd strikeout victim of Juan Nicasio tonight. Time for the Excel Energy high efficiency inning. He has some choices with Nicasio. This is the last half inning. He had the comebacker, the jam shot, and the see you later. Brought to you by Excel Energy. And that's going to be a soft single to center field off the bat of Moustakas. So a 1-out hit. Learn about energy efficiency and how to save energy and money in your home by visiting responsiblebynature.com.
Just the 3rd base runner in the ball game off Nicasio, a walk and a couple of singles.
And Moustakas has reached twice. That ended a run of 8 in a row retired by Nicasio. Perfect for 4 1/3 at Yankee Stadium in his last start. Matt Trainer, a double play candidate at the plate.
You, the fan, can choose the 34th and final player for each All-Star League roster at ColoradoRockies.com Sunday, July 3rd through July 7th. So make sure you get on and pick that player. I'd love to see Todd Helton get that opportunity to go. Going to be difficult with all the other first basemen that are having the years they're having.
Fargo makes the catch, 2 outs.
It may have helped Todd a little bit with Albert Pujols getting injured to where he can't play. So now if you need that other, a third baseman, Todd might have a chance for that.
Well, let's talk about the locks. Joey Votto is a lock.
Howard.
Well, Prince Fielder even before Ryan Howard. Prince Fielder's a lock. Prince Fielder probably, George, he got our vote, player of the month in June in the National League.
10 and 27 in RBIs, and he hit 330.
That'll work, right?
Typically does.
Might be the leading MVP candidate.
Yeah, and you know his teammate, those guys are hitting the middle next to each other. Ryan Braun's having a great year also. But you know, then you go to Ryan Howard. It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. And of course, one of the things overall that's going to hurt the Rockies, let's face it, is the fact that they have a record that, hopefully they pick things up here in the final week or so before the break, but they're going to have a record somewhere around 500.
A lot of the players in the clubhouse, obviously Tulowitzki a choice, but other players, because Houston Street's second in the league in saves, may have an opportunity to go. That's the players in the Rockies uniform making those comments.
Good play by Mark Ellis. Another strong inning from Nicasio. The bottom of the fifth inning, top of the order for Colorado. Last year, the Rockies matched up with the Royals, and they took 2 of 3. They hit 279, averaged better than 5 runs a game. They didn't pitch all that well. Bottom line is they won at the end of the day. Cargo, a walk and a run scored in the first, and he hit a ground ball to second on a 3-1 pitch in inning number 2. Gonzalez, Ellis, and Helton against Danny Duffy. 3 runs, 5 hits for the Rockies. No runs, just 2 hits for the Royals. What do you think so far, George, of Danny Duffy?
Like him. Young kid, 22 years old, got an electric type arm. I think he'll develop a better breaking ball under the guidance of Bob McClure. I think he'll gain confidence. It's what he tries to work on in between starts, which is what's going to be really important for him.
Interesting. Cargo taken all the way on a 2-0 pitch.
That just shows you the confidence that Cargo has right now.
Well, if it's not a pitch he can do something with, then why not take it? If you have confidence to hit with 2 strikes like he does now, all the better.
I don't know if I've ever seen him do that this year, especially against a lefty. He's going to get a single here. Yeah, we always throw out there, Jeff, that a guy's so strong, he breaks his bat and gets a hit. In the case of Carlos Gonzalez, with the bat speed that he produces, that's the truth, because he gets a lot of those hits.
And the barrel of the bat went about 92, 93 feet. And the ball probably went about 200. But it's so strong, that hip rotation, the way he gets through the baseball, allows him to drive the ball out there. And then the barrel is split, but it's a knock.
So a leadoff single for Gonzalez, and here's Mark Ellis, 1 for 2 in his Rockies debut. "34-year-old veteran second baseman.
pretty easy read on that first throw over.
You got to believe, though, being left-handed and with Bob McClure, that there's a better move than what you've been seeing.
This ball's well hit left center field. Off the very top of the wall. No, it's gone. Home run. Third base umpire Mike DeMuro says that one's out of here. Mark Ellis, could you have a better debut? You now have 49,000 standing up and cheering.
Pretty easy game.
Welcome to town.
Oh, boy. Bell-tie fastball. Hitters just get really excited about that part. Man, not a good pitch. Here's a foul ball. We're going to look again where this ball landed out in the outfield.
There's a guy with a glove. Well, he's over the fence, so you know that
is he out? You know, is he out over the fence into fair territory trying to catch the ball? That's what's got to be answered.
Well, once that pitch went to help.
Yeah, it's done. You're not going to don't have to worry about it anymore. See, that ball looked like even after it hit that little boy's glove, it still hit off the yellow part of it. Hey, take it while you can. It's done now. 5-0. How about that?
Yeah, I'm just surprised Ned Yost didn't come out just to at least put up a little bit of an argument when it was that close. But I will tell you, the second base umpire and the third base umpire both ruled that it was a home run. It wasn't just Mike DeMuro at third.
You know how umpires are. Two of them doesn't make it right.
Great. Now, that's not just a good point. That's a great point, George.
You know, I can't believe you'd say that, Drew Goodman, about umpires like that.
Hey, listen, you know what, George? There's some things I'll borrow from you. There's some things I'll even take ownership of. That one, every umpire who's looking into as a night off, they know who said that.
Absolutely, they did.
Here's the 2-2 on Todd. Outside, 3-2. Elton, a base hit and a run scored last inning after Tulowitzki homered. Here's his old teammate Giambi hugging up on Mark Ellis. So there, you look like a smaller version of me from the right side, hitting it out like that. Boy, Todd was on that. Hosmer, boy, he looked like a kid diving off the diving board for the first time. Huey, what happened?
I don't know. His feet got kind of tangled up a little bit. This was not a ball that was hit hard. It was a particularly tough read to look at. But he starts to go after it, and it's almost like he trips and falls to make the play.
Why did he go for the short hop? I mean, all he had to do is go get to the baseball early. He went side instead of in.
Yeah, but his choppy steps about 2 steps before he went to dive for it. If he just goes the whole way, catches it, makes a spin throw to first.
Well, they've awarded Helton a hit. We all love Todd to death. That's not a hit. At least not in my book.
Well, this is flip the tables here. If Todd Helton was out there at first base, what would it be? It would be an easy out.
And Hosmer, again, has a very good reputation with the glove. Even though he's a kid, he's just 21. Todd will take it. And now Tulowitzki with nobody out. I watched you on TV when I was 8. Maybe it was when I was 7 years old.
Well, what's disappointed Duffy, it's been twice in this game he thought he had strikeouts, and he walked off the mound on the home plate umpire. And the next pitch was a base hit. This for Helton.
Boy, Tulowitzki got a pitch to hit there. Popped it up. Just worked underneath it, and that's the first out in the 5th inning. Let's take a look at our Coors Light Cold Hard Blast. Tulowitzki in the 3rd inning, going to opposite field. 16th home run of the year for Troy. Of course, like Cold Hard Blast. Rockies up 5-0. Helton at first. Ty Wigginton an RBI single in the first. He's 1 for 2. And Wigginton fouls it back. This is a ball game, guys, where the Rockies naturally want to keep adding on. They have not had a lopsided win, a quote-unquote laugher, probably since that opening ball game against the Tigers in their last homestand a couple weeks back when they won 13-6. And you know, and before that, you got to go back a ways. Probably the Cardinals when they beat them on May 28th, 15-4.
Also give Nicasio a little bit of breathing room out on the mound.
Hanger, and it's ripped to left by Ty Wigginton. 9 hits for the Rockies.
God, I believe the first time Nicasio got this much run support was in his first start versus the Cardinals. We all know how that ended. It was a very good outing for Nicasio.
Seth Smith coming up. Look at Juan Nicasio, our CenturyLink high-speed pitch. Both Duffy and Nicasio have hit 96, and in the case of Nicasio, he's done it several times. This is Nate Adcock getting loose. Smith has struck out twice against Duffy. What if Smith gets a knock here, you may see Ned Yost. High fly ball to right field. Francoeur makes the catch, and now Helton will tag and move up.
The only reason you might not see Ned Yost is if Adcock's not ready to go. If they got him up too late.
Wells Fargo customers get your 2-for-1 Rockies tickets today by going to wellsfargo.com/Rockies. Wells Fargo Bank, member FDIC.
Adcock doesn't look like he's in any hurry to come Bailey's buddy out with first and third and 2 outs.
Duffy is due to lead off next inning. Maybe they've told him you're going to go in on the 6th.
Spilborghs has hit it hard twice. A double to center and a deep drive to the track in center that was hauled in by Melky Cabrera. This ball line to center, and Cabrera makes a shoestring catch. Tell you what, Ryan Spilborghs has torn the cover off it in this ball game, but he's only got 1 hit to show for it. Nice play by Cabrera. How about Mark Ellis? Single in the first, comes up in the 5th, and he hits a bomb to left center. 5-0 Colorado. Mark Ellis, a 2-run home run. Troy Tulowitzki, a 2-run home run. The middle of the infield's doing pretty nicely in this ball game.
How about that, huh? They're doing pretty good. All right, here you go, guys. I just get a text from Parker and Modesto. They're all sitting around watching our ball game because they're going to have to start for another 45 minutes. It's not your tie, okay? It's not your tie. My mother-in-law gave me this 23 years ago.
Let me see this thing.
You like that, don't you? It's a pretty nice little silk tie, isn't it?
It's a pretty tie.
Yeah,
and
that's right.
You said 23 years ago?
23
that
years
looks
ago.
very 70s to me. So
Yeah,
I'm
well,
saying maybe 33 years
okay.
ago.
You know, if I could just take and put like root in every one of these little circles, how cool would that look?
You know what? Let me point something else out, folks, at home and for Parker looking in. Casio now ahead 0-2 on the pinch hitter Gerard Dyson.
Security?
No. See, this is by design. This is by design. This is a ketchup stain.
You're right. Yeah, exactly. It's either that or it's that sauce from Taco Bell. I can't remember which one.
that was 10 years ago. The sauce from Taco Bell. Gerard Dyson getting a little heat from his teammates. To go all the way back down in the dugout to get another bat. This is a great story, this kid. He's a 50th round pick. And he can fly. Tulo knows it and gets him. That's fast, isn't he?
Yeah, where was the finish line? Let him keep going.
Hey, Huey, isn't that neat? I mean, you were a free agent out of college, out of Wyoming. This kid might as well have been a 50th round pick.
Good for him to be able to come along and make it to the big leagues on speed, but just perseverance and a lot of support from friends and family.
Yep, you can make it, you can get it done.
He just chops it down on the ground and he gets out of the box in a hurry. Tulo made a better play though.
Boy, that felt like me running a little bit. Don't you think, Huey?
In your dreams.
I don't even know if the dreams are that good.
2-1. My first two cars didn't go that fast. And Tulowitzki.
Tell you what, all these home runs getting hit. What's getting lost here? That guy out on the hill's got a 2-hit shutout going right now.
Yes, he does. And a lot of quick outs. And he's shown just enough changeup and slider that he's kept him off balance with the great heater. Melky Cabrera with 2 gone.
$13 ground ball outs for Nicasio. 3 strikeouts, just 1 fly ball out. Hey, a warm up. Somebody hit the fuse early here.
Wait a second.
Check her out. All right. Anybody sneak out of the dugout going out there playing jokes?
Well, it'd have to be a relief pitcher because they're typically the guys that would do it.
Why do you got to throw us on the bullpen? I felt the bus hit all of us. Holy cow.
I'd just say Jeff Russell, who I played with the Rangers, he was one of the biggest pranksters.
Hey, by the way, Huey, you mentioned the Rangers, and I've watched a bunch of teams go by on our Toyota Talk, and virtually everybody had mentioned the Rangers. Got a lot of shout outs for the Twins also. That was a good topic tonight. Thanks for texting in on Toyota Talk. 5-0 Colorado.
of the 6th inning, and this question is from Ed Scott from Centennial. He has a question for Huey. He wants to know if baseball players really analyze their defensive positioning in terms of infielders, kind of, the relays that they have to throw in, or the angles of the ball coming off the bat, kind of like a football player, Huey. Do baseball players pay as much attention to their defense as a football player would?
Well, they do. They have the scouting reports. They know how the pitcher is going to pitch the hitter, so when they do that, they in turn decide where they're going to play on the field, and also with positioning, sort of relays. All that is done during the ball game, and a guy like Mark Ellis is in the game tonight. He'll be spending a lot of time looking into the dugout because he's new to this league. Where do I play these guys? The thing that does help him here, though, is he's played against the Royals before, but when he goes to against the National League team, say the Braves are coming up on the next road trip, or the Washington Nationals, he'll be looking in that dugout a lot, saying, is he a pull guy? Do I need to go over this way? And it also depends on where he feels comfortable. Is he better going to his left or his right? Infielders know this by instinct, basically, because you've played so many games. Me, personally, if I was playing shortstop, I'd play in the hole a little bit more because I was better going to my left than I was to right. For a guy like Troy, it really doesn't matter because he can go to both in the hole or up the middle and make the play easily.
Yeah, Troy typically either leads the league or is right there in chances because he gets to so many baseballs, and assists. That's in there 1-1. New pitcher is Nate Adcock.
Yeah, a 5th-round selection of the Seattle Mariners in 2006. Traded over to the Pirates for Ian Snell and Jack Wilson when they went to Seattle, and then was selected as a Rule 5 draft pick out of A-ball last year in Bradenton out of the Florida State League, where he went 11-7 on 26 starts.
It's a big jump.
Hard-throwing right-hander.
Fouled off. Well, Alcides Escobar, the shortstop for the Kansas City Royals, a Milwaukee Brewer. He has gotten more baseballs than anybody in the game this year at shortstop. More chances, more assists.
And that comes with experience. You'll see shortstops or second basemen where they'll peek in, they'll look at the sign that's coming from the catcher and say it's going to be a breaking pitch right on right. They're gonna when they start to cheat in or take their momentum, that walking lead, whatever you want to call it, they'll walk more into the hole just a little bit to give them a better angle.
Interesting, that list of chances. Alcides Escobar is number 436 total chances this year. Troy Tulowitzki among big league shortstops is next at 429, and then a big drop off to number 3, Starlin Castro, with 377. Isn't that interesting, Jeff?
You would think he would be up there because he's a quick guy. But it just shows you that the type of knowledge that Troy has in positioning and his first step quickness.
Another walk for Chris Iannetta, and that'll allow Nicasio here to bunt. Troy has the highest fielding percentage in the game among shortstops at .991. Escobar's made 7 errors, Tulowitzki just 4. And that'll go all the way to the backstop. Probably is a pass ball on Trainer. We'll see how it's scored.
Hard slider away from him. I think it may have gotten too far. May have not have. I don't know why he would have snapped a slider off in this situation. But well outside, Trainer probably should have called a pass ball on that. Would they give him wild pitch?
They did give him a wild pitch, George. So
neither team's been special. Rockies 1 for 9 with runners in scoring position. Most of their scoring positions when they've gotten in the box tonight, they were in it then. Those 2 home runs.
Duffy gave up 5 runs on 9 hits, walked 1, struck out 6. And the aforementioned 2 home runs. Tulowitzki, a 2-run shot, and Mark Ellis, a 2-run shot.
Well, anytime scouts recommend players to general manager Dan O'Dowd, if he calls and says, you know, we might have a chance to acquire Mark Ellis, he's asking your opinions Do you think he's a fit? Go find out if he's a fit. Do you think his abilities will come back? A 10-year veteran at 34, are they on the decline? Because he was hitting 216. Last year he hit 298. Have his skills diminished? Well, they're putting their reputation and their opinion on the line to say go get him. Well, obviously 2 for 2 with a 2-run home run, a double play, ground balls handled. Yeah, you did a pretty good job. That was a double tap.
Yeah, I've done that. I've done that out of the sand trap before, George. You've seen it also.
Imagine you ever being a sand trap. Here it is again. Nicasio trying to get this bunt down. It's a part of the game you need to practice and need to perfect. Quite honestly, there's been pitchers such as Ubaldo Jimenez that wasn't a very good bunter when he first came up, but he spent hours on end learning how to bunt, and now he's an excellent bunter. Another part of the game Nicasio will have to work on.
And they're going to take a pass on Carlos Gonzalez, so Mark Ellis will come up with 2 on and 1 out. The only time in Mark Ellis's career that he hit for a better average than the 291 last year was when he hit 316 back in 2005. This replay brought to you by the Colorado Lottery. Mark Ellis in the 5th inning with cargo aboard. He hits it to deep left center field and ruled a home run. The fan touched it over the fence. Now through July 30th. You can replay every non-winning scratch ticket in the second chance drawing at coloradolottery.com. Ellis takes a strike from Adcock. Mark won several awards in his career with the Oakland A's, local awards. Catfish Hunter Award in 2005, 2007, and the Dave Stewart Community Service Award in 2007, given to the A's player annually for outstanding work in the community. So he'll fit right in. This ball's pulled to left, and this one will catch on. Have a night, Mark Ellis. 1 run is scored. He's in the second with a double. Cargo stops at third. All that's left, folks, is a triple.
This National League's really easy. Why did I spend 10 years over there in that other place? This is pretty good. I like this.
Well, you know, with that or he didn't see the Royals enough with Oakland.
Yeah, one or the other. I like these National League parks. We had a double down the left field line and another run driven in for Mark Ellis.
Safe at second, safe and secure New York life. 2 guys out there now for Helton, and that one nearly went to the backstop.
When you have a Rule 5 pick that you take out of A ball and Brayton high A, as a manager, it's difficult to find them places to pitch to amount to innings so they don't lose a year. But these are the type of games Adcock would be in, down 5-0 to come into and get some innings.
Helton drives it to right field. This one's going to stay fair. It'll run to the corner. It'll be a 2-run double for Todd. And the Rockies lead it 8-0. RBIs 35 and 36 for Helton.
Well, Jeff, you were here as a witness, so I'm going to go ahead and say this. When Drew said, when was the last time the Rockies got to laugh during a ball game? Well, they're getting close. It's now 8-0.
Career double, 542 for Todd.
Fastball enter half, and again, up here you make mistakes at 88-91, and that sinker flattens out as it did on Adcock. You pay for it. Don't worry about it. There's been 2,300 plus other base hits off of other people. He's pretty good, Mr. Adcock. Talking about Todd Helton as he climbs that ladder to become number 2 among active leaders at 5:42 ahead of Bobby Abreu.
Mentioned it yesterday, and it bears repeating. Talking to Todd about all of his accomplishments, and yesterday another milestone, the 2000th game in his marvelous career, and he said if I had to pick one, he said it'd probably be all the doubles that he's most proud of. And I don't blame him. I mean, think about that. 542 doubles, Jeff.
That's shocking. Those are just mind-boggling numbers. But it just shows you the type of hitter that Todd Helton is, or was, or whatever you want to say, because he's, you know, he doesn't have the speed that he had when he first came up. So that's the other impressive thing.
0-1 on Tulowitzki. Give you another number on Todd after this pitch.
In 2000, he had 59 doubles in a season.
That's a year that he had over 100. He did it twice, over 100 extra base hits. He's now tied on the all-time Ribby list at 1275 with Albert Pujols and Miguel Tejada, 3 active players. And he's an RBI shy of a guy he's very close with, Don Baylor. 1276 for Baylor. He's tied with Hall of Famer Hank Greenberg on the all-time list. Tulowitzki, a 2-run home run back in the 3rd inning. Still just 1 out. Iannetta started the inning walking on a 3-2 pitch. Nicasio struck out trying to bunt Iannetta to 3rd. That was after a wild pitch. And then an intentional walk to Cargo. Mark Ellis's run-scoring double. And Helton brought 2 home with a double. It's 2-2 now on Tulowitzki. His next pitch will be the 25th of the inning from Nate Adcock in relief of Danny Duffy.
A lot of young pitchers work ahead in counts, and hitters who don't know those young pitchers let them. But then that put away pitch, or the ability to go close the door on a hitter, you end up in situations like this, 3-2 count versus a 1-2 count.
If that windshield's got a crack in it or any other kind of damage, we know who to call. Safe Flight Auto Glass. The number's 303-287-5000. You can reach them online at safelight.com. Strike 3. Out number 2 in the 6th inning, and Wigginton will come up. Well, did you miss any of tonight's game? If you have, check out Double Play tomorrow at 5 before the 2nd game in this series between the Rockies and Royals. It's all the highlights, best moments in just 30 minutes only on Root Sports. Ty Wigginton pops it up. Alcides Escobar waiting. He's got it. Terrific night. And a beautiful 5th inning for the Rockies. They scored 3 times. Let's us look back. Well, it's a pleasant look back in this ball game. Third inning, Troy Tulowitzki. It's already 1-0, and Tulo makes it 3-0 with his 16th home run of the year. In the fifth inning, up comes Mark Ellis, and out she goes. The baseball contacted by a fan on the other side of the wall. Home run, 2-run shot for Ellis, his first in a Rockies uniform. Ellis wasn't done. He's got a single, a home run, and now a run-scoring double. He's driven in 3. Helton drove in a couple last inning as well with a double. So it's all good for Mark Ellis and the Rockies. They're up 8-0 in the 7th. And Eric Hosmer takes an off-speed pitch for a strike. And George, you're absolutely right. What's been lost in Mark Ellis' day here at Coors Field is Juan Nicasio.
What a job he has done out on the mound, and really set the tone early. He's had the ball hit back to him numerous times. 13 ground ball outs. That is taking care of business.
The other thing, too, is the bullpen's got to be feeling a little good about this.
Ground ball to Mark Ellis, just picked up from the Oakland A's. Yesterday, he arrived at noon, flew out of the Bay Area this morning. Said he was surprised, but also excited about going to Colorado. 9 seasons playing for Billy Bean's A's, more than 200 doubles in his career. He's got a little bit of pop. He's a great fielder, hard-nosed guy. He's also had 6 assists tonight in his debut. No runner to second base against Nicasio as he works here with 1 out in the 7th to Alex Gordon, who has one of the 2 hits allowed. We're talking about potential all-stars with the Rockies earlier. The Royals fan base believes that the guy who should represent Kansas City in Phoenix at the Midsummer Classic is this man. And Huey, I think you'd agree, wouldn't you?
Well, yeah, a guy's sitting 295 right now. Been one of the leaders in home runs, RBIs.
You know, he's a little bit, I don't want to, you can't compare him to Ryan Braun, but the comparison or analogy I was going with is he's more comfortable since moving from third base to left field.
Well, third base is a tough place to play in Kansas City. A lot of pressure.
All right, they have anybody any good who played there before?
It's a guy named George Brett, maybe.
I thought he was a first baseman.
Well, just anybody that plays third base and hits left hand is going to automatically be compared to him.
Plus, he's still in uniform all the time in spring training. Serves as a special assistant to the general manager.
Pitch count in this ball game also very good for Nicasio.
Think about this: 7 outs that Ellis has been involved in, 4 outs for Nicasio on balls hit back to the mound. Dadgummit, that's the backup infielder, because relievers only do it 1 time. You guys like get all happy.
Helton will run to the bag. 2 outs.
Hey, where's Alana? Is she back there with a match or something?
Yeah,
What's she doing?
Alana.
Let's answer the AT&T trivia question as Jeff Francoeur comes up. Mark Ellis, a career .990 fielding percentage. That's second highest among all active second basemen. Who has the highest? I said Orlando Hudson, but I'm not right. It's Placido Polanco.
You kind of forget about him because he's been playing a lot of third.
All-time fielding percentage. There's the current guy. Or no, this is all-time. Because last time I checked, Richie Dower's retired. Mark Loretta's now retired. Ryan Sandberg's retired. Scotty Fletcher's retired.
Scotty's a roving infield instructor for the Rockies.
I was going to say, Scotty's
His son's a pretty good player. Son came out of Auburn, was a good player.
2-1 on Francoeur.
People might not know this, but Richie Dower, you do not want to get in a shooting contest on a basketball court. At all. I'm telling you, he'll own your house, cars.
You know, Richie's a fun-loving guy. He's a terrific infield instructor. He went to Southern Cal. He could have played basketball at Southern Cal.
Number 1 rated high school basketball player his senior year in California. Led the state in shooting percentage, points per game.
Richie turned, Opie camera shot.
He's just really focusing on waiting on the fireworks and trying to catch Jeff running back into the dugout after he lit that last batch.
I can't wait for the fireworks. They're always a fun night.
3-2 on Francoeur. And that pitch is a little bit high. Only the second walk allowed by Nicasio. He retired 7 in a row until that point. He had a run of 8 in a row earlier.
All fans at the game on July 15th receive Rockies reward coupons, including a special offer from Majestic. I love it. They give out all the little flags at the ballpark. People showing their loyalty to the great country we live in.
Mike Moustakas, a walk and a single. Moustakas last year hit 36 home runs, drove in 124 between 2 levels. Again, this is another guy that was a very, very high #1 pick. He was the #1 in 07. Hosmer, the #1 in 08 of the Royals. And this ball, a loud drive, but right at Seth Smith. Another terrific inning for Juan Nicasio. Stretch time at Coors Field, 8-0. The Rockies enjoying an 8-0 lead over the Kansas City Royals, first to 3 against KC. Time to check in again with Alana Rizzo. She has tonight's Fast Cash Sideline Report. It's brought to you by Fast Cash Gold Centers, where you'll always get 40% more for your gold.
Drew, in case our viewers at home missed it, the Rockies have made a change with their starting rotation. Yolis Chassin, they have moved his start to Tuesday. He experienced some forearm stiffness after his last start. They want to give him a couple more days rest. In his place, Greg Reynolds will be making the start. Now, he is here today. Of course, the move has not been made yet with Reynolds. He will be reactivated tomorrow. The Rockies will have to make another roster move to accommodate Greg Reynolds coming up, guys.
Hey, Alana.
Yes, sir.
Were you out there lighting fireworks off?
Yeah.
Tell the truth.
I was trying to startle some people. That was a bit premature. I apologize for that. I'm very excited for the festivities after the game.
I don't think it's immature. I think I liked it.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. Wasn't it,
fireworks on the field from the Rockies, fireworks after.
Well, that's why I like three-man booth, because I can sneak off down there and I can fire mine up, and then Huey can go do his. You disappear in between hits. You light yours.
You did buy some fireworks this year, didn't you?
Always. You know, when I go home 4th of July, I'm going to go home Sunday night. I'll go out to Bixby, Oklahoma, out in the country, spend a lot of money.
one ball and one strike. Seth Smith. Nate Adcock still out there. George, I'm sure at some point in your career, before when you first arrived, before you were a setup guy, you had to have this role, and it's not a lot of fun, I would think.
You had to wear it, is what you're trying to say. You just wear it. I mean, you go out and you try to get your innings, you make your impressions, and obviously, being a Rule 5 draft pick, they thought he was good enough, meaning, folks, they plucked him away on the AAA roster, away from the Pirates, and brought him here, and they felt his stuff was good enough after watching 26 starts a year ago. Right now is that time frame. Scouts are out watching all the minor league teams and evaluating, and they have a list when they go out of who needs to be protected and not protected. Bob Johnson works as an advanced scout for the Atlanta Braves, and with the Rockies going there, what's up next is obviously setting the stage.
3-2 outside, a leadoff walk for Seth Smith here in the 7th.
And the host with the holiday weekend, some scouts not working, but there's a reason. Gary Rennick, that's the mom and dad right here. The Rockies just acquired their son from Toronto, and he's in AAA pitching right now, so he can mix a little work with some pleasure and head down to Colorado Springs and get to watch his son pitch a little bit over the break. Very good outfielder with the Baltimore Orioles, now a scout for Andy McPhail.
Spilborghs has hit it on the button 3 times tonight. A double, a drive to the center field wall, and what would have been a run-scoring base hit, except Melky Cabrera made a shoestring catch. Here's the catch by Melky Cabrera to rob Spilborghs of a ribby. This thing was knuckling. It was hit so hard.
One of the toughest balls for outfielders to catch is a ball squared and then knuckling on its way to you, because you just don't know which way it's going to knuckle at the last second.
And Spilborghs, what a play there. Well done. He had a hit taken away by Chris Getz.
Don't tell me they even out either. Okay.
Yeah.
Because Billy should have 3 hits tonight.
Exactly. And this was the softest one hit, and he tried to place it through the right side. He almost got it there. Nice play, though, by Getz. Boy, throws like this, you worry about your first baseman. Ask Albert Pujols when the ball gets over behind you and the runner's coming, because you just don't know what, where, or you're going to get hit. And you hope they're nice enough to know they're out and avoid the collision.
Chris Iannetta 0 for 2 and a walk tonight. On a snap an 0 for 14 slide.
One thing about catchers, when they go into a mini slump or a slump, they still contribute so much with the play calling behind the plate, the running of the game. Iannetta tonight been outstanding. 2 hits and 0s on the board.
Chris has that strange split, the low batting average beneath 220, but his on base percentage is close to 380.
Well, and the home runs and RBIs are very high, ranked among National League catchers.
Hosmer does not have a play.
Got your glove here?
Well, not tonight, but that hit off the dugout.
Well, I know it's just getting closer.
I know, but it was just right over there.
But I know it's going to get closer.
I've got these. Okay.
Oh, don't even go there, please.
What, after the one the other night down here? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I mean, you know, I just thought you learned your lesson.
I just forgot to pack it today. Busy watching other baseball games, some youth games today. Just forgot to pack my own.
You were watching golf.
Shattered bat. Escobar on the move will throw out Iannetta. Crossing over on the slow ground ball. Smith to third. And that'll bring up Juan Nicasio. Root Sports Red Alerts. We'll keep you updated about the latest Rockies happenings all season long. Text the word alerts to 720 to get Rockies updates straight to your phone. Nicasio struck out 3 times. Last time he struck out trying to bunt. It's all about what Juan has done. 60 feet 6 inches tonight. A 2-hit shutout through 7 innings of play. There's not been a runner to second base for the Royals. He's broken bats. He's had weak ground balls right back at him.
The last inning was the only ball that's really been hit hard in this ball game by Moustakas. That line drive to Seth Smith.
Well, on the unfortunate side, with a shutout going, a 2-hit shutout, but his pitch count nearing 100, that might work against him. With the opportunity to try to have a chance to get a complete ball game. He's sitting at 93. You never know. Most pitches he threw in the minor leagues is not listed. I went to go look. They're right there for the big league games, but not in the minor league.
And the answer to that question is,
look it up on your own.
I don't know.
That's the answer.
Two and two. And he's got the golden sombrero, but he doesn't really care a lot about that, I'm sure. 4 punch outs tonight. Rockies lead 8-0. Neighborhood Toyota stores. Toyota moving forward. By AT&T, the nation's fastest mobile broadband network. And by King Soopers, more value for the way you live. Gorgeous sunset. And the Rockies. the sunset.
Where's Alana? I know she's got to be. Is she over there behind the bush hiding so she can light him up? Here, you see her anywhere?
There's the stage
Well,
coming up
she's
on the
not
right.
down here by me.
See, there you go. Where is she?
We'll launch him from up there. Matt Trainer against Nicasio, and the fastball's in there for a strike.
Well, quick mention very quickly for the Rockies player scouting department. They've signed 24 to 36 top draft picks so far. The highest being Carl Thomore, an outfielder. Bats right, throws right, out of East Brunswick, New Jersey. They signed a couple of days ago.
He's a great story. Very quickly, George. He had a badly dislocated ankle a couple years ago, and they were wondering if he would walk again. This is what the doctor said, and obviously not only did he come back from that, but he thrived in a second-round draft pick of the Rockies.
He's having a good time right now. Harold Riggins, the big first baseman out of North Carolina State, just crushing the ball in Casper right now.
1-2 on Trainer. A moment ago, we showed you a shot of Johnny Herrera, giving Troy Tulowitzki the rest of the night off. There's Johnny. Well, that's a good-looking pitch right there. Nice job by Trainer.
Still holding velocity and command, 95 miles an hour. The left-hander, Matt Reynolds, had started to throw down in the Rockies bullpen. I learned something new today.
Finally.
His wife makes terrific strawberry jam. Matt Reynolds. She grew up out in the country and learned the trait from her mother.
3-2. You gonna share?
No. 101 pitches in the ball game, with 63 of those being a strike.
Ground ball to Johnny Herrera. He'll circle, and on the move, throws out Matt Trainer. Coming up in the Toyota postgame show, more Toyota talk. Text Toyota followed by a space, and then your thoughts and questions perhaps to 720-720. Chris Ionetta's done a terrific job, Huey, handling Nicasio tonight and forcing him to throw his off-speed pitches.
And you might be thinking 8-0. Why is he still throwing the slider? Well, because he still needs to work on it.
Well, you know what? I have a different opinion than all these other people, or not a lot of other people, but whoop, had a chance to make his fifth. Johnny going to make it? Nope. Going to get a base hit, I'll bet you. A tough play all the way around. Is that pitch your game regardless, 8-0, 1-0? Because how many times have you seen, okay, I'll just go fastballs only, and all of a sudden you look up and it's like, okay, now I got bases loaded, I'm giving up base hits, and now it's 8-3, 8-4. So I like it when they keep that command and to go ahead and work on a pitch he needs to work on, Jeff, and that's that breakable ball.
Yeah, for his next start. And this will carry forward because you'll remember, hey, on my 102nd pitch or 103rd pitch, I still had a pretty good slider going.
Now, actually, he feels like his slider's better when he's fatigued as opposed to early in the game when he's fresh. Kind of works around it a little bit, George.
Yeah, that has a tendency to overthrow it, trying to create, snap the break when it's not necessary to do.
Wilson Betta meets the pinch hitter for Adcock with one out. Alcides Escobar at first. Betamete, long time kind of extra infielder, could swing the bat a little bit. Very athletic guy, big strong guy. Atlanta, Los Angeles Dodgers, now here in Kansas City.
We're talking about him being possibly a guy that's going to get traded towards the trading deadline.
And for the first time One of the names that's mentioned for the Royals is possibly being moved is Billy Butler. You never would have said that in the past. I mean, Butler last 2 years is 94 doubles, but he can't play first anymore because Hosmer's there. He's more of a DH, and they believe that he could be expendable. There's the 1-2. Swung on and missed. Another strikeout for Nicasio. That's his 4th of the ball game. 2nd out here in the 8th inning. It'll bring up Chris Getz. We've got tacos. Fans, don't forget, tomorrow, make your way to Taco Bell in the state between 4 and 6 to get your Rockies Tacos special.
7 2/3 innings. 2 balls have left the infield. 1 to center field and 1 to right in the air. Talk about dominating performance. Nicasio has had just that.
And I know it went sideways after the 5th inning, but fellas, he was pretty good in the Bronx too. Ground ball to Helt, and Todd will hit Nicasio on the move. Peyton Manning would have been proud of that short outlet pass.
Nicasio so far this evening, a beautiful performance on a beautiful night as we head to the bottom of the 8th inning. Rockies up 8-0. It's time for our last question. This comes from Nick in Lakewood, who both of you guys can actually answer this, but he wants to know if you anticipate any other moves being made to kind of help the Rockies the rest of the way. And I really wanted Jeff Houston's opinion, so I just decided to come right next to him.
Right here.
So here he is. Hi. Do you anticipate anything happening? Go.
I look at him possibly looking for some pitching help. But I think a lot of clubs are going to be doing that because there's so many clubs right around 500 right now that they still think they have a chance to make the playoffs. But that's one area that if you're going to look for a starting pitcher with Jorge De La Rosa down would probably be the next area of concern for Dan O'Dowd.
George, your thoughts?
Oh, you want me to answer too?
Absolutely.
You sure?
Yes, of course. I didn't want to get drilled by Blackman.
Get rid of
so
everybody. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I think there's pitching help that obviously you're going to have to go get some. The problem is where you're going to find it and what it's going to cost you to go get it. I think you can look at some ball clubs with some veteran guys. Kansas City, maybe they're looking to move somebody, which would help you obviously. But there's not a lot of teams out there that are termed out of it right now that are going to give up one of their aces or even a number 3 or 4 starter. They're too hard to get.
Listen, this is the time of year rumors fly around. It's like the off season in the hot stove league. But one of the rumors, we might as well mention it since you're talking about the Royals. The Royals are seemingly out of it. They have the 2nd worst record in baseball. Charlie Blackman, by the way, pinch hitting for Carlos Gonzalez, but their closer, who's pitching right now, down 8-0, Joakim Soria, has been mentioned as a as a guy possibly that could get moved.
And that doesn't surprise me at all, simply because, but let me tell you what, if you go get him and you take him to a team, I know this year he was removed as a closer for about 2 weeks to get it back together. You're going to pay. They're going to, whoever he goes to, they're going to take a lot out of your farm system.
Here's the handshakes for Juan Nicasio and the big one from the skipper. Tell you what, that is one he won't forget. He's had some moments already in his brief big league career, but this night's #1 right now. 8 shutout innings. I mean, dominant innings. 3 hits. This ball's crushed to right center. Charlie Blackmon has hit his first big league home run. And he'll get the baseball.
You wanted to see a more aggressive swing, apparently. Well, you got to see one. Carney Langsford wanted him to attack the baseball more with the same swing, but just more in it. He did it. It's got to be a pretty good feeling for him to hit his first major league home run.
We got a sunflower seed shower.
Was that? I couldn't tell what that was. This is a no-doubter, Huey.
Well, the good thing about it is you mentioned it, Drew, went into the Rockies bullpen, so you know you're going to get the ball back and you don't have to do a whole lot of bartering, kind of like when Chris Nelson hit his.
Well, now we got to focus our attention on the hottest hitter in baseball, Mark Ellis, with a new team, that is. Mark Ellis, 3 hits tonight in 4 at-bats. Single, 2-run homer, and a double, so you know what he needs here.
Hit one into that right center field or left center field gap.
1 and 2. The only time he made an out was a pop to short. That's the Rockies' second pinch hit home run of the year. Spilborgh's has the other one. Two and 2. Back up the middle, and it's gloved by Soria.
Hey, I just found out something.
Go ahead.
It was Tracy Ringlesby and Tom Helmer the ones out shooting fireworks. Helmer just came in and admitted it.
He did?
Yeah, he said it was all Tracy. He was just watching while he lit them.
Here's Charlie Blackmon going to the dugout. There's the sunflower celebration.
Who is leading the charge? You see the big smile in the background?
Tulowitzki.
Tulowitzki.
Helton takes the ball.
Charlie's, it's his birthday? Come on. Did you know that, Drew? He's 21.
What a way to celebrate your birthday.
I know how old he is. We signed him 3-4 years ago when he was 21. Doug's going, he's 25. See, I know how old he is.
Quarter century old today, Frase. Not 21.
Just barely almost caught me.
There's another 25-year-old right there. Here's the 1-2, and Todd's got a base hit. That's the 4th hit of the night, by the way, for Helton. You talk about under the radar 4-hit nights. Has he ever had one of those before?
Couple.
Take a look at our Ecotech game summary. It's brought to you by Ecotech Institute in Denver, where you can make the world your workplace. It's all Rockies tonight. They needed one of these. Boy, did they need one of these. Outstanding job by Juan Nicasio, and Ellis, what a debut. He's actually 3 for 5, not 2 for 3. He's got a single, double, and a 2-run home run. in his Rockies debut. First at bat for Johnny Herrera. They turned it 1-6-3. Good throw by Escobar. Charlie Blackmon, a birthday home run he'll never forget. #1 in his career. Sports is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, new Rapid Rewards Unlimited reward seats and no blackout dates, and by Briconier for all your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs. Call Briconier at 303-777-3037. Think green, think Briconier. It's fireworks night, a sellout crowd of 48,282 in the house tonight. They've loved every minute of this one. The Rockies up 9-0. Well, we'd love to go to center field right now and check in with Tom Helmer, but center field not available because the Cowboy and Tommy got kicked out of center field for lighting off fireworks early. So Tom is hiding out here.
I like the much like the NBA lockout of that. We've been locked out of center field now. Ringlesby saw a button, he pushed it. I said you should. And we've been kicked out.
What are you going to talk about?
He's currently detained.
We got to investigate because, of course, he threw you under the bus and said it was you.
Go ahead. What are you going to talk about?
We're going to talk about instant impact. I've heard good things about this Mark Ellis kid.
Is he any good?
I don't know. He might pan out. I don't know. I hate to weigh it after one game, but he did okay today, I think. Juan for the books. Juan Nicasio, his longest outing of his career.
8 innings, 2 hits. That's pretty good.
Well, we don't need to fill it in with stats now. This is what we call a tease. We're teasing what's coming ahead.
Don't want to talk
we'll give
about
the information later on.
Okay.
If we give it all now, what's the point of tuning in? And of course, we'll be down in the clubhouse.
And as always, we'll hear from the skipper, right?
We'll hear from the skipper, Jim Tracy, before the fireworks here in front of what do we got tonight? 48,000.
48,282.
Oh, it was off by 700.
Nice. And you know what? I'm really disappointed because after a ball game like this, you'd have had a big crowd out there in center field.
We probably would have had 35, 40,000.
Absolutely.
You know, out there in center field.
Trace might have danced.
Oh, he would have. He'd have been swinging that hat. He can't quite get up on the desk.
Why?
Well, he's been doing his ab exercises.
Yeah.
But after the All-Star break,
is it that thing seen on TV type ad?
Exactly.
Ab deals?
Ab cruncher.
You know what? I'm shocked to hear that he couldn't make it up on the desk because he brags all the time about it, riding the horses and all that.
He has what we call a low center of gravity. It's all down. It's near the belt buckle.
Yeah, it seems to be getting lower by the day. 1-2 on Melky Cabrera. Edgmer Escalona is in the ball game for the Rockies. Just called up today. Of course, the bullpen was overworked in that White Sox series. Looking for 3 outs here for Escalona. Hard throwing right-handed. Rockies and fans saw him earlier this year. Blackmon gives chase. Spilborghs, as you saw a moment ago, is now in center field.
I can only see the broadcast. I can't hear him in the press box. What was the result of the punch out? Is that a called third strike thing?
Yeah, he's done. Go grab some pine meat. It's over.
You didn't see me doing my Joe Frazier on.
I saw you wailing on Frazier.
Did you hear me yelling security?
Like I said, no audio down there.
Johnny makes the catch, 1 out. Time for the Coors Light freeze cam. Mark Ellis. And if you watch carefully, Tom Helmer's out there in left center field, and he fortunately butchered the play in left center field, and the umpire realized there's Tom trying to go incognito in the red shirt.
Was that you?
Yeah, I'm going to quit wearing red. It really stands out.
Sunday? No, it's not Sunday. Wear that on Sunday. You know, that's
like a Tiger Woods thing.
There you go.
Well, it matches the hats that they're going to be wearing all weekend.
It's going to match the shirt Tracy will have on Sunday. You know he's going to wear it.
What do you think of Frazier's Tide, circa
like that?
1977?
What's wrong with that? It looks like a lava lamp was transformed into a tie, doesn't it? It looks like those bubbles are going to bubble up towards the top.
The little dots right here, that's Taco Bell sauce.
I believe it.
Right here. Yeah.
That's right. It's a taco night.
That's right.
It doesn't get any better. Fireworks, tacos, a laugher. Ellis. I mean, it's
Helton 4 hits. Don't forget that.
Helton moving up to 25th all time.
Hey, Tracy just walked in the booth and he's back here. And Tracy, they said you've been setting off the early fireworks playing in the parking lot, but that's okay.
Hosmer with a base hit through the left side. That's just the 4th single of the night for the Royals. They have not seen second base. Final line, by the way, on Nicasio. He goes 8 innings. 8 innings of shutout baseball. Allows 3 hits. 1 of which did not leave the infield. He walked 2, and he struck out 4. Did you get all that, Tom?
Yeah, I was glad you gave. I wanted to get caught up there before the Twitter postgame show.
And he threw, Dougie, what did he throw, 107?
Doug left the booth.
Well, I've taken his chair and his orthopedic back pillow. So
did you take his chair?
I didn't take it. It was
He's a crippled man.
He's got another chair.
He looks like he could be loading boxes at the store. He's got the back brace on there, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, he's not allowed to do that right now. 0-1 on Alex Gordon. Eric Hosmer at first. Good pickup by Iannetta.
I will tell you guys this. We started thinking about it today in the press box, me and Tracy Ringolsby. Tracy Ringolsby looked it up, but Troy Tulowitzki, since becoming a Rocky, has now played with 14 different guys at second base.
I'll tell you something that's really interesting about that note. 7 of them this year. Now, some of them he had played with before, but Mark Ellis is the 7th different guy to play second base for the Rockies in 82 ball games. Can you name them?
The 7 this year?
Yeah.
There'd be Wigington. There'd be Lopez.
Ground ball, it's a fair ball. Helton's going to get the out at first, and the Royals finally have a guy in scoring position.
So Wigington, Lopez, Herrera, Nelson, Ellis,
EY.
Yeah.
You know what? Actually, Wiggy never played there this year. I mean, they talked about it, but he hasn't played.
He hasn't played any games at second base?
No. There's one.
Oh, I got it.
Morales.
Yeah, who said it?
Morales.
Huey, were you going to say it?
That's what I was going to say. Georgia got it, though.
Stop it.
Yeah, Jose Morales. Remember, he got a couple innings there.
games.
That's
Two
right.
different
Ball
times he
games.
played with him.
And he played well.
Yes, he did.
Made a couple of sparkling plays.
Well, you go through the list. There's Jason Nix is on there. Clint Barmas is on there. I mean, it's a.
And there's one guy, by the way, this year.
Ian Stewart.
Alfredo Mezaga.
That's right, Alfredo Mezaga.
Yep, Stewie, not this year, but you're right, George.
Okay,
Obviously, Stewie got some time at second base.
And Tulowitzki's never missed a beat with any of those guys. Was fluid with any of those guys.
But you know what? I think when you talk about you're going to have really athletic players naturally up the middle. And if you didn't know any better, you'd think Tulowitzki and Ellis have been doing this together for a long period of time. 3-0 on Jeff Francoeur. Hey, Huey, we've watched Francoeur play for a number of years. He is a guy who swings at the first pitch typically more than anybody in baseball. I've seen him take more pitches tonight. It would take a series for him to see this many pitches.
Well, maybe it has something to do with Kevin Seitzer's their batting coach, because he took a lot of pitches, and maybe it's translated for Francoeur here.
Here's the 3-1, 3-2. Crowd standing. They want to cheer on the home team. They want to get the fireworks. Rockies leading 9-0, and they've out-hit the Royals 13-4. High fly ball, deep left center field, and Spielberg's got there, and that's the ball game. Escalante got the final 3 outs, and the Rockies have shut out the Kansas City Royals 9-0. Juan Nicasio gets the win, 8 brilliant innings. Danny Duffy takes the loss. Nicasio 3-1, Duffy 1-3. And if there was ever a club in the big leagues that needed a ball game like tonight, it was the Colorado Rockies. The Rockies improved to 40-42. The Royals now 33-49. Time for the Jimmy John's delivery of the ball game. Mark Ellis in his Rockies debut. First time up, a base hit. His third time up, he hits a bomb just over the left center field wall. Welcome to the National League. And then a double down the left field line to drive in a run. 3 hits and 5 at bats for Ellis. He drove in 3 and played a flawless second base, and I'm sure you'll hear from him in a few moments.